This right here is a live look at one of the polling locations in Akron. So a reminder, polls are now open until 7:30 tonight. It's going to be a big day, but at this point, it's really anyone's guess on when the results will be coming in. Jasmine Monroe is joining us live from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse with more on what we can expect, and it's really hard to tell what we can expect, Jasmine.
Yeah, and it's honestly something that we're going to have to watch to the very end, and some say for weeks. But right now we're live right outside of the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Home of the Cavs has been transformed into a polling location for 3 precincts in Cleveland's Ward 3. Now, experts are saying, folks, that you can't count anyone out, just like in basketball, too early. So you see, voting early is really changing the election game. Here in Ohio, early voting and absentee ballots will be counted first because Secretary LaRose explains workers have been able to get a jump start.
We can start processing our absentee votes really as soon as they come in. And so what that means is way back in the beginning of October 6th, the boards of elections were already processing absentee ballots. What that means is that they are able to cut open the envelope. I check the identification information, make sure that the voter's identification information matches, that the signature matches the signature on file, and have those ballots scanned and ready to tabulate as soon as the polls close on election night.
So what does that mean? It means that votes come in when votes come in, University of Akron professor David Cohen says mail-in ballots are disproportionately Democrat. So if we in other states like Florida, California, North Carolina get a jump start, it may look like states are leaning blue, but those numbers could change drastically when the in-person votes are counted. Now, the opposite goes for states where there are absentee votes are tallied last, and it may look like they are leaning red first, and that includes swing states like Pennsylvania. So, Dave, this is something big that we're going to be following closely throughout the day, throughout the next coming weeks. And also, Secretary of State Frank LaRose says we may not know the answer to this until weeks from now.
Yeah, all right. Hopefully not the case. Jasmine, thank you. Well, there are some big local races we are keeping an eye on tonight, including some important levies. Cleveland Metropolitan School Issue 68 is a tax renewal and increase asking voters for help to fund 12% of the school's budget. In Euclid, the school district is hoping to pass an $8.7 million operating issue. If this fails, the district will have to cut teachers, administrators, athletics, and the arts. And Fairview Park Schools hope to pass a $7.9 million operating levy, the first operating levy the district has asked for in 14 years. This would generate more than $3 million per year.
Cities across America, including here at home, are taking steps to make sure that everyone is safe as they head to the polls and for the days that follow. Today, Cleveland officials will be activating the Emergency Operations Center to work closely with the state, federal, and municipal partners.
The Cleveland Division of Police has a plan in place to ensure that everyone who comes to vote will be able to do so safely and orderly.
There are similar partnerships in Summit and other counties, too.
It is 6:36. Ohio is just one of a number of swing states that everyone will be keeping a close eye on, no doubt about it. Another big one is Florida, and that's where we find NBC correspondent Carrie Sanders this morning. Carrie, first of all, thanks for joining us. But second, boy, a lot of eyes are on the Sunshine State today, and early voting played a big role there.
It absolutely did. Almost 9 million people out of the 14 million registered voters in the state decided to vote either by mail or early in person. But nonetheless, here we are about, well, less than 30 minutes now before the polls open. And you can see over my shoulder here that there are voters lined up. It may be that some of them just like the excitement of voting on voting day. It may be that some of them are last minute deciders on what they're going to do. All eyes on Florida because not only that it has 29 electoral votes, which is a gargantuan win for either of the candidates, but at the same time, when you look at Florida, you see a state that is evenly split between red and blue, which means that what we have is a toss-up in a state that is critical to both campaigns. Likely, it's going to come down to those independent voters in Florida. 27% of the registered voters in Florida are independents. And so those will be the folks that probably ultimately make the decision. I am in St. Petersburg, Florida. For those who are sort of into watching the results come back tonight, as well as getting your phone out, remember this county. It's called Pinellas County, Florida. That's where I am right now, and we're here for a reason. This county has correctly chosen who was going to be the next president of the United States since 1980. So if that trend continues, an early look at Pinellas County, Dave will likely tell you who's going to be our next president.